My name is Don Kirk. I've been following the North Korean nuclear issue for quite a few years. I also covered the Vietnam War from Saigon during the war. I was there at the height of the war on the American and what we called South Vietnamese side. So obviously coming to Hanoi, this is the third or fourth time I've been to Hanoi, is a tremendous experience. And one gets a sense of a festive mood in the city. One sees these signs saying sustainable peace and city for peace. It's very interesting.
What do you think about this summit? I mean, of course, it's the second summit, but still, the meeting between the U.S. president and the chairman from North Korea. It's a huge thing, right?
It's a huge thing, but I'm not really optimistic about the results. I kind of think they're going to get around the whole issue of denuclearization. I don't think North Korea is going to agree on denuclearization. They may come through with some secondary agreements. They may have some kind of statement saying, oh, the Korean War is finished. They call it an end of war declaration. But I'm not optimistic about any really solid results.
Don't you think that the expectation from the U.S. is too high? I mean, they take it as something for the survival of their system.
Yeah, I'm not sure the U.S. has high expectations at this point, because Singapore was kind of a disappointment. There was a very vague statement about denuclearization, but that was about it. So I'm not sure they have really high expectations right now. But I think there are high hopes, let's put it that way. By the way, the big winner from this summit is going to be Vietnam for hosting the summit. Vietnam can't lose. Vietnam is emerging as the host city, a city that was formerly more than 50 years ago was at war with both the Americans and the South, and now it's hosting this summit on good terms with the U.S., a prosperous economy, hoping to improve relations with another communist country, namely North Korea. It's very interesting. Well, my impression is that there's a festive mood in the city. There's also very tight security, and there's a sense of excitement here. I think it's good for Vietnam. Now, whether it's good for the U.S., whether it solves the nuclear issue is another matter. And it's very interesting for me to be here, having been in Saigon a lot during the war, having been in Hanoi 3 or 4 times over the years, and having visited Saigon since the war as well.
So, final question is what do you think if they have a declaration of peace, like you said? Isn't it good enough, in Hanoi, that you have the declaration of peace?
North Korea really wants this declaration of peace because it's an obvious move toward a peace treaty under which they would demand dissolution of the UN Committee, and under which U.S., South Korean, and other allied forces fought the Korean War. So North Korea would love an end-of-war declaration as a prelude to a peace treaty. Then they just go on intensifying their demands for withdrawal of U.S. forces from the South. That's the problem with an end-of-war declaration. The war is over. The Korean War ended with a truce in July 1973. That truce has endured for all that time since then.
Yeah. Thank you so much, John.